Hey guys, Hugh Shang here. Today I played about 20 Terran vs Protoss games to try to get some examples for this week's TVP lessons. And today I'm going to show you guys how the beginner Terran vs Protoss build interacts with a number of different Protoss macro openings. So I have some examples versus 4-gate blink, DT drop, disruptor drop, Phoenix, Oracle, basically every possible Protoss macro opening you can imagine. So it's going to be a very comprehensive video. Quickly before we get into the guide, if you like the content I'm creating, you can help support this channel by becoming a Hugh Shang Tutorials member on YouTube. So by doing this, you're going to allow me to keep making content, lots of free content for you guys. And you're also going to get some sick rewards like replay packs, community tournaments. We're doing group practice once a week, which I think is a really sick one. And maybe best of all, access to all of my coaching VODs from now onwards. So that's YouTube membership. The join button is right beside the subscribe button if you're interested. And you can also support this channel by reaching out to me for one-on-one coaching, either on Discord or my website. I've been teaching this game for over 10 years now, and I would absolutely love to help you reach your goals. So shoot me a message on Discord or grab lessons on my website if you're interested. All right, let's move on to the lesson. So I figured we'd start off with maybe the first adept before we get into some builds. And I just wanted to point out that as long as you're not opening up with the Reaper, if you open up with 1 Marine, Reactor, 2 Marine, you do get these 3 Marines before the adept shows up. Now it might be a little farther along on some smaller maps, but you're always going to have the 3 Marine ready. And so it's not too much trouble to put some damage on this adept and just kind of shoo it away. It is going to be a bit annoying that you have to keep raising these depots against some annoying Protoss, but you should be totally fine just pushing that back, and then you can go into the build like normal. Okay, now for this first replay, we're playing against 4-gate blink, and this build is actually a pretty big hard counter against 4-gate blink. You're gonna have tanks so fast that you're actually gonna have 2 before they'll be able to blink into your main, so it's a pretty easy hold. And I think this build's pretty popular still. It's been a couple months, I guess, since it came out, but it's still very, very popular. And I think a lot of Terrans struggle with this build because you're opening up with something aggressive, you know, Hellions or Mind Drop or whatnot. And yeah, these builds don't get a fast tank, so this one's gonna be a lot easier to hold these early attacks. So you can send the first one to the second base. And so if they come in with their blink stalkers over here, you're gonna have, you know, the bunker that you can repair. You can also repair the tank, just box and right click. You could use the auto repair, but it's much faster to just right click. And if he's blinking on your tank, then you're definitely gonna want to be very quick. So it should be fine over on this side. The bunker is pretty far back, by the way, just because of the first adept. But I don't see any reason why you can't put it here, actually. Maybe I should be doing that, in fact, just to wall off a little quicker. But either way, you put 1 tank. I don't know why I have a second tank here. Wait, this second tank I'm going to move for sure in a second, because you want to place it about here. If I click on this tank, you'll see the radius is quite large. So what you want to do is have that radius kind of just touching the edge here. And this is pretty much perfect. You can see here it's a little bit over the edge. That's fine though. You're going to hit them when they try to come in here. And don't keep it, you know, in this position. I see a lot in GM Terrans putting their tank here so that it covers the natural and the main, but that's actually a very badly placed tank because, well, actually it might be okay if you only have 1 tank, but if you have 2, it's way more superior to put it here. That way when they blink in, they can't immediately kill your tank, right? So try to keep these far back and just hit the edge of the cliffs. And from this position, it should be a fairly easy hold. I saw this observer, but I did not have a scan, unfortunately. That would have been a very sweet pickoff, so he had a hard time seeing where I'm set up. And then behind this, you can see I'm transitioning. I've been testing out making some more tanks in this practice session, and I kind of like it, especially if they play Colossus. So he blinks in here at about 520. It's like 10 seconds later than I would do it, so it's a pretty good timing. And he does get my tank, so bad for us, right? But not really, because we killed a bunch of Stalker. And we didn't lose any Marines. You know, we just lost one tank for like 6 Stalker. So very, very worth for us. I might be able to snag this now, I don't remember. And then we just set up another tank. The next one pops and we just siege that up. He tries to blink in again. We've killed 1 Stalker, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 Stalkers already. So again, completely worth it. If we look back at his base, you can see here that he is completely skipping his tech for now in order to make all these Stalkers. And for us in the meantime, we're researching stim. Concussive shell's almost done, so it's just getting worse and worse for him. He definitely doesn't want to keep doing this. Yeah, and now we've pretty much stabilized. You know, if he tries to blink in again, we now have Marauders, so it's going to go even worse. And we can transition into the mid game, which we're not going to be going over today, but we will go over tomorrow probably. So that's it for 4-gate blink. Let's go into the next game and take a look at another opening. So here we are in a game against a Dark Templar build. He was actually trying to counter me. He thought it might be, my build might be weak against Dark Templar. So he's trying this opening out. But as you're going to see, it's completely solid against Dark Templar. Actually, I make a number of mistakes in this game, and it's still a pretty easy defense. So yeah, let's take a look. One thing I'm doing pretty early on is walling the natural. You can see I'm even using the bunker in the wall, which I think is nice. And this is going to help out a lot against DT because you're going to have this wall complete when the DT arrive. So if your wall is complete and the DT tries to run in, obviously you can't get in. He's going to have to kill your bunker before he can do so. And you can even repair it, which I'm kind of alluding to my mistakes later on. But okay, in the main, you can see I'm setting up my Viking and Marines over here in case of War Prism, in case of Oracle, in case of Phoenix, a bunch of different builds. And you can see that he's going for the War Prism Dark Templar drop here. Now, one mistake I made, if I can pause for a quick second, is just my positioning here. I think it's better to be closer to the edge. I think it's quite a bit stronger, especially since it can't be 4-gate blink this early. So, you know, at least until 5, you can stay quite a bit over here, and that'll be easier to defend against Oracle, Phoenix, or War Prisms. So, small mistake there, but we're safe against if you went for 4-gate blink. The tank's positioned well. We got the bunker over here with usually 3 Marines. He did kill 1 earlier. Tank over here, so we're pretty safe against everything. And here he comes in with a DT drop. I do make some micro mistakes here, so this doesn't go as well as it should have. I pulled back the Viking there, so we don't end up doing a lot of DPS to the War Prism, but what I should have done is just had the Vikings attacking the War Prism the whole time, and only pulled the Marines back. And if I had done that, we would have been able to snipe this Dark Templar, this War Prism, I mean. And we probably would have killed the DTs over here, or he would have been forced to just, you know, leave immediately. So we could have punished this a lot harder than I did. And he has a Dark Templar over here, which I could have repaired the bunker, like I said earlier. So a little bit of a crisis, a mini crisis. He gets 2 ACV. It's not a huge deal, not perfect, but definitely a clean-ish defense. We're perfectly playable in this game. And yeah, so very, very nice build to defend DT drop and 4-gate blink. Let's go take a look at some other opening defenses. All right, I have another Protoss opening for you guys. Started off with Adept Stalker, but now he's going into Phoenix. And I think Phoenix are pretty annoying, actually. You kind of have to have a pretty good setup to push them away. But as you're going to see in a second, Phoenix is totally defendable with this build. I actually like playing against Phoenix with this opening. You have a lot of Vikings, so you can kind of range them. And if they try to harass you, then you have a bunch of Marines to help kill the Phoenix. So very, very versatile. You can see I'm making some macro mistakes with this build. I'm trying to optimize it like really tightly in this practice session. So as we keep going, you're going to see the build get tighter and tighter as I figure out where I can be greedy and stuff like that. But same setup for Marine here and the Viking. Got the Viking rallied onto this Marine, and I have the next tank rallied here. Then we can go into our extra barracks, set up our transition now that we've got all the safety units. And you can see me setting up this depot wall. I want to pause because I'm pretty sure I'm making a mistake here watching these replays right now, where the DTs are going to get in here too quickly if I don't put the bunker in the wall. So I think I might start putting the bunker more forward and then just walling off with 3 other depots. Should be fine. Just to make it easier against Dark Templar. Okay, so now we have all of the units we need to defend. We're going to start going into the extra racks, getting our E-base soon, and the flirt gas. So very, very good setup. And here he comes with his Phoenix. He has 3. I think you can probably get more if you optimize the Protoss build. Maybe like 5 or so. But perfectly defendable. He comes in here to the natural and he grabs quite a few SCVs. So definitely being pretty annoying here. I don't remember if I do it in this game, but one thing you can do, actually it looks like I am, is you can actually just push out against somebody who does this because they're not going to have as many lifts. So I'm just going to move out against the Phoenix here. I'm going to bring all our tanks. We know we don't need those tanks in the main anymore because he's playing Stargate. So he can't really be playing Blink Stalkers as well. And he's not playing Dark Templar, so we don't really have any fears anymore. So we're going to do this little push here. Now you don't have to do this. This is definitely more advanced. My macro is slipping up a lot in these games, actually. Most of these games. Because you're trying to micro really hard and macro. And yeah, it's quite difficult at first. But doing this push is very strong if you can handle it. You don't even need to do anything is the amazing part. You just need to pretend you're going to do something. Like, let's look at the Protoss. Normally what Protoss would want to do is get their tech. You can see he's on Forge. Yeah, he didn't get his Twilight. Normally you'd get your Twilight and Forge, and then you'd add these gates, but you'd also want to be probing pretty hard. So you can see here he's cutting. He's getting 2 shield battery. He's got a bunch of Stalker he probably doesn't want. So he's doing a bunch of safety things. And yeah, we don't have to do anything. We just sit here, pretend we're going to attack, and in the meantime we're setting up for the mid game. He tries to snipe my Viking. He gets 1, but I kill a Phoenix in return. So probably a better trade for me. I'm going to back up now. We forced some Zealots he didn't want. So getting a lot of bonuses here. We're actually caught up in workers. So that was actually a very good exchange for me. Now he's adding his Robobay Twilight. And yeah, now we're in a pretty good position. So that's how you can defend against the Stargate openings. You could even make another Viking if you wanted to be extra safe. I don't think you need it, but you could do that. So yeah, there's how you defend the Phoenix openings. Let's go check out another one. Here we are playing against another dirty Protoss opening. This one's especially disgusting. He's going for quick War Prism speed, and he's also going for a very fast disruptor. So very quick disruptor drop here. Always using the exact same setup to defend everything, right? Setting up the depot wall. I'm going to start putting my bunker here, like I already talked about. And you have the Marines and the Viking in the main. So pretty good setup against everything. I definitely should be sniping this OBS a little more in these games. I'm just noticing that now. There's still a bunch of stuff I can optimize in TVP. I think a lot of people have the misconception that you have to play like almost perfect in High Masters Low GM, but trust me, everybody's making tons of mistakes It's only until like higher GM when you're really starting to refine everything. He shoots these disruptor drops. We just pull away. Easy defense there. And then at this point in the game, what I'm actually going to do is really focus on the Vikings, because if I try to kill the disruptor, he's just going to pick it up. So I'm really only focused on these Vikings. So watch how this goes. Almost grabbed it there. He gets away. I was definitely thinking of a different game where I killed that. So we'll probably get to that in a second. That did not go like I thought I was going to. Too many games played today. I'm trying to find it. I actually thought it would be over here, but it was really fast with that speed and just got home. But yeah, clean defense. You can see this tank actually helped play a big role against this, because having it here, it can almost cover the whole mineral line area. So it's a bit easier to defend against the disruptor drops. And if I knew it was this opening, I think you should put the other tank closer to this CC as well for the same reasons. And from here, we're into the macro game. So again, just defending this pretty easily. I think the opening that he's doing is pretty weak to a counter push. So if you wanted to do the push I did last game, where I pushed out with like 3 tanks, a bunch of Marines, and the Vikings, I think that's really, really good against this build. I actually think it's good against a lot of the Protoss builds. And as we keep going through these replays, you're going to see that more and more. I just start pushing out pretty early just to force some reaction. So in this game, he's trying another Stargate opening. He's not going Phoenix though. He's opening up with an Oracle. And this is a pretty light harass. He's also trying to do this kind of triple adept thing. Let's actually take a peek at that. Ooh, man, that's slow. Okay, a potato computer. Let's watch this, because this is one of those annoying attacks. 3 adepts can one-shot Marines, and they can also one-shot adepts, or sorry, SCVs. So pretty annoying, but what you want to do is just kind of pull your Marines out of the bunker, bring over your tank to help out, and then just leave the Viking. Where are the Vikings? My Viking's a tad late this game. But just leave the Viking in the main, because this is most likely an Oracle build. Now, he was kind of sneaky here. He actually went into the natural. So, maybe I should even leave these Marines. Just thinking out loud. Maybe I should just leave these over here. It's not like he's going to have any other pressure when he opens this way, because if you make 3 adepts, you can't afford to also have 2 gates pretty early. So he's kind of... we can read into this a little bit more and just have these Marines chilling on this side, and then have the other Marines and the Viking chilling over here and really reduce the damage. But you'll see it's not even too big of a deal. Oracles kind of suck these days, if I'm being honest. And he gets like, what? Two workers? And then I get the worst luck ever. What is this? 4 HP? Unbelievable. But only 2 worker kills, so that's a totally okay start. I'm pretty satisfied with that, to be honest. And now I'm going to set up for a sweet little push like I've been talking about last couple of games. I think this is super, super strong. Even if you don't do anything, like as long as you know Protoss is macroing, as long as you know Protoss took their 3rd, there's really no risk to doing this little push here. Actually, maybe if you're playing against the 4-gate blink build, then you shouldn't do this. But any other build, I think this is totally a reasonable move out. And you don't have to do anything. Like if he sees you move out halfway across the map, and then you just siege, and then you go home, you're already going to inflict a bunch of damage for free, right? Like look, he's making shield batteries. We're delaying his Robo Bay a little bit. You know, if he doesn't delay his Robo Bay and his units, then he might just die here. Wink, wink, like right now. So, you know, you're really putting a ton of pressure on Protoss and forcing them to make some stuff that they don't really want to make. And it's just a sweet little pressure. So here we can see he's, you know, getting his Robo Bay a bit too fast, maybe. Not enough units, not grabbing an Immortal. I think you should grab an Immortal against this push. I land the Vikings. We'll try to focus the ground units, and he taps out. So Nice little push here. You can see that I can't handle doing this push yet. But we're working on it. So, yeah, cool little build. Let's go into the next game. So we're playing against a Stargate opening again. And I went out a little far here. I was trying to be cheeky because I wanted him to run these 3 adepts up the ramp as he shaded in. And then maybe I can kill 1 or 2 adepts. But I probably stayed over here a little bit too long. Or maybe this is just a bad idea in general. And he does get his Oracle in here. Gets 1 SCV. And we lose a bunch of mining time. So definitely not ideal. But we push that back. Obviously I know he has these 3 adepts still. So I'm trying to position these Marines in good spots. Split them up a bit. So we're going to have the Marine tank on the bottom. And he should definitely not go for this. I was actually really surprised that he went for this. So we're going to be able to jump on these. I was actually so surprised that I didn't have my Marines or tank in a good position. So I only managed to pick off 2 of these adepts. But still a pretty good trade for me. And we were always safe against the Oracle as well. So hopefully you guys are starting to see this build is basically impenetrable. It doesn't matter what opening they do. You can defend everything with this build. The only real weakness with this build is the harass, right? You're not really doing too much harass. Although, I haven't played around with it. I'm pretty sure you could split off these Vikings against some builds and use those to harass their main. And then you could push with your Marine tank. So, there are some possibilities for pressure. And it's pretty sturdy. So I think this is a really solid build for you guys. Now he's going into Phoenix. And like I said earlier, if they do this type of thing, it's not actually that bad for you. Even if they kill a couple SCV, because they really lose a lot of their lifts. Like you can see here that he has like 1 lift left. Whenever I play Protoss, 2 lifts. Whenever I play Protoss, I really am trying to be super careful with those lifts because I know that these pushes are really, really scary. So we move in here. We set up our tanks. And then we group up with the Vikings and the Marines. And I mean, this is just such a scary army this early in the game. Protoss is really going to have to compensate by building a lot of units that they don't want. Some Stalkers here, an Immortal, and yeah, so probably at this stage we could just back up. I might have wanted to keep these a little farther back just so he didn't see me leave, because he's able to try and chase me down here, which is kind of annoying. But not a huge deal. I think the best thing you can target is the Phoenix, and I think you should have the Vikings landed, which sounds weird because you're trying to kill the Phoenix, but I think you actually want the DPS on the ground, and you want the Marines to just target the Phoenix instead. And you can see here, it's a great trade. I mean, losing all these units is somewhat annoying, but I think it's totally favoring the Terran here, because you manage to delay a lot of Protoss' tech, and so your next time is going to be very, very good. And you can see here, this time I didn't completely destroy the macro, so getting better. Let's take a look at, I think I have 1 or 2 more replays. Okay, in this game, I actually did not use the safe Terran build. I forgot. This game I did a cheeky opening. Well, I'll show you guys this video, this replay anyways. But basically I went reactor first. And I'm setting up for a early Marine Hellion drop. I might actually do a build loader guide on this one, or another really aggressive build, just to give you guys some options besides the safe beginner opening. But basically with this one, you crank out a ton of early Marines, and you can actually move out with 6. It's pretty obnoxious for Protoss depending on their opening. So if they go adept, you can move out with 6. And it's actually super, super annoying. They have to make 3 units, or they have to get a shield battery. So 6 Marines, we're gonna go up to 8, and we're gonna make 3 Hellions and a medevac. 3 Hellions, 1-shots probes. So very, very fun, aggressive build. It's a lot harder to defend the Protoss' builds as well. So it's kind of a 2-sided coin here, a knife's edge, but But let's see how this goes. So 8 Marines so far. Last 2 coming out here. And I believe we have 2 Hellions, 1 more on the way. I built this bunker. I think you don't need this bunker as long as they go adept. So just scrap that. I'll go into more detail if I do end up showing this build order guide. And now that we have the last Hellion and medevac on the way, we're going to move out with these Marines. And we're just going to do a 2-pronged attack at the same time. One thing I definitely should have done here is just make sure that the Protoss's 3rd base goes down before I move out. Honestly, it's I'm kind of playing blind here. Like, I'll show you my vision. So it's not very good to do this, but you know, we're learning. We're getting better with Terran from day to day. So you definitely want to make sure they get that 3rd first. Otherwise, they could be doing, you know, 4-gate blank, and then you're dead here. So yeah, pushing out with these Marines on one side. I'm gonna go for the pylon first so that he doesn't have as much supply and he can't warp in. It's also just an easier target than the Nexus. So I'm gonna snipe this first. At the exact same time, I'm dropping these Hellions. So he's dealing with many things. He's getting pulled over here, which is nice. And very, very hard to deal with both of these harass at once. We get, you know, a bunch of workers here. We're up to 6 kills, 8 kills. Already very, very successful. And I load these up. I could have went for more kills, but the idea here was to allow these Marines to do a little bit more damage in the meantime. So I'm just trying to be annoying rather than, you know, get more probe kills necessarily. And we're able to cancel his 3rd, so that's pretty much game, honestly. 8 kills and a 3rd cancel is pretty much GG. So he taps out. All right, I think that's all the openings I have for you guys today. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to like it and share it. And I will see you guys tomorrow for some more TVP content.